a bit. Oh wait, it's still. Hi guys, I'm Jen from Tammy and Like Minded Bitches, and today I've got Venetia here from New York and originally from London. How are you going?
I'm good. I'm good. Excited to do our Facebook Live.
Finally. So, who the hell are you?
So, I am Venetia Archer, founder of Ruuby. We are an on-demand beauty bookings platform currently operational in London. So yeah, I'm a founder, a startup founder, and sort of just in the process of building up my business at the moment.
Very exciting. And how have you guys gotten started, and what is the traction to date?
How's the traction been to date?
Yeah.
So we've been live for 3.5 years. And it's taken a long time to essentially build the marketplace. So we offer, on-demand beauty services. So we've had to build a network of freelancers. We have about 550, nearly 600 on our books. And obviously, the sort of respective client base as well. So, speaking took a long time to really start to gain momentum. We've done some fundraising, but we're pretty
No.
really believe that to be a great benefit because we've been able to cultivate incredibly strong relationships with our freelancers and also with our clientele. So, while rapidly gaining market share is obviously something that needs to be done, like we've really gained solid traction in London so that when we do that, which is, the plan now, we'll be, pretty strong place to do so.
Fantastic.
But yeah, traction-wise, we've got sort of a solid user base. I've got we've got a super user base of our clientele, so they're using Ruuby about 3 times a month. We've got great traction on a B2B side, so we work with hotels and concierge services, corporates to do corporate wellness. So definitely kind of getting the word out there where we can.
Awesome. And how did you go about getting those first couple of clients on and professionals?
It was really actually a question of Instagram. So on it, we were very lucky. So 3.5 years ago, you didn't have millions of influencers with millions of followers and kind of it wasn't as sort of as broad as it is now. And so he kindly posted about us for free. It was really very, very sort of normalized at the time, and we really gained huge amounts of traction that way. I feel like we felt very honest on Instagram, and also we were one of the first platforms out there to do it in London, and so that's how we did it first. Obviously, as well, the friends and family effect. Literally telling everyone and anyone I knew to use Ruuby, and I'll say, a little goes a long way in that sense. And, I think definitely when starting out a company, having your, people close to you, building that social network effect, is incredibly valuable, particularly in kind of a consumer facing, platform or business, like Ruuby.
Fantastic. And attracting those first hires, when you're so new, you're not really sure where you're heading, what you're doing. And I mean, as founders, we're kind of working it out, right?
Yeah.
Still working it out. How did you communicate with your vision to these people and convince them to work for you?
So I feel, it's a question of the big, of describing the big vision and, finding people who understand where you're going and believe in the vision as well. It's not easy. It's most certainly not easy. And particularly now that there are so many opportunities to join, potentially later stage startups with still huge amount of upside. It's a challenging, it's challenging, and it requires, your sort of skills of diplomacy and salesmanship. So definitely kind of engaging with people on that personal level and on that story is really important. But then at the same time as well, there's that we've used, for example, we have an employee share option pool. So, bringing, sort of members of the team on, and give options over the course of their employment. I think so they really do feel a part of it and identify that while, it might not necessarily be the best paid position, there's definitely going to be. So that was something that worked as well.
Awesome. And how do you then manage, well, like, what's your team culture? How are you managing these people?
That's a really good question, and definitely something that I found my day and realizing, hold on, one of my key roles is management, actually. And I think for me, and maybe naively, it just jumped out of me one day. And now we have a team of 10, and so we're sort of putting more management structures in place. Nothing too burdensome or anything like that. But I think for us, we have a very, very relaxed culture. It's it's fun, it's creative, it's very flat. Everyone has a say in what we're doing. But at the same time, I'm incredibly strict about like defining our KPIs, and I think as soon as those are clearly defined, which makes my life all going in the same direction. So for us, like regularly checking in on those weekly, ensuring that my team is responsible for their own KPIs. So it's not me collating them, it's actually the team who are doing that, really, again, helping with their buy-in. I think that works. But in terms of the culture, I really want to build something like creative and dynamic, and and so if people want to work out of the office, then they can. And if someone has a great idea that's out of their remit, absolutely bring it to the table. I think that's one of the benefits of young companies. Obviously there are lots of pitfalls of companies started by people who are sort of young entrepreneurs. At the same time, there's kind of an openness to create new norms and new structures, which is something that I really believe in.
Definitely. It's funny, like I'm about to close up on the 30-year-olds, right? And so at what point do we stop saying we're young? Desperately holding on to the young part, right?
Oh my God. I used to be like the cool one in the office when in my former career, and they'd be like, oh, tell us about Snapchat. And now I still think I am, but everyone in the office thinks I'm the old. Yeah, I need to pass that. That on.
It's a tough one. And then how do you keep evolving yourself as a leader? Because it's not like there's an education on how to handle this. You're working it out. We all are working it out as we go. So how do you make sure you're constantly keeping up with what the business needs as a leader?
I think it's incredibly challenging because obviously you've got day to day, which needs constant kind of, overview and checking in and stuff like that. I mean, not to the degree of micromanagement, but there's detail that needs to be constantly reviewed, which can occasionally detract from broader sort of professional improvement, at the founder level. And so it's definitely something that I've kind of, really gone, been very up and down on, depending on what I'm working on. So for example, for doing a fundraise, I really find that it's difficult. It's particularly difficult time because you're all in, and it's, hard to take the space to work on sort of improving oneself as a leader. But, at the same time, there are quieter times and there are moments where you can take a step back. And when that does happen, I ensure that I get as much advice and surround myself with people who are doing something similar to me. So other founders, other people who've built great things. Also, as well, we've actually just joined an accelerator. So we've joined the Founders Factory Accelerator in London, and it's been incredibly beneficial, kind of raising the bar on a number of sides of our business, just in terms of that forward thinking, that strategy thinking. CEO for me, just kind of, it's kind of, I think about it like a finishing school for startups. So, whatever external tools are available, make the most of them.
Yep. And what are as a marketplace, obviously there's the joyous challenge of the chicken and the egg and working out how to scale your marketplace efficiently. What are the metrics that you guys look at to ensure that you guys are on track?
So for us, fundamentally, so the biggest inhibitor to our growth, with our 550 therapists, we cannot keep up with the customer demand. So our real metrics are around therapist availability. So look at numbers on the platform, numbers of active availability, and also the geographical spread of that availability. So, we've got certain, postcodes in London where, we get a lot of bookings. And so tracking the supply in those areas is something that's really important to us. Kind of the revenue, the gross number of bookings, commissions, because we've got a sort of a tiered commission model. But really, the one that's on the one that we're pushing ahead on, a beauty therapist, capacity.
Yeah, great. And do you do any sort of like here in San Francisco, for example, as an Uber driver, if you do 180 drives per week or pickups per week, you actually get a $700 US cash bonus, and you're paid out into your bank account for doing so many jobs. Do you guys play around with incentives?
We have a bonus. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Yeah.
We have a bonus scheme in place. It's not $700 a week, unfortunately. Although no, we have a bonus scheme. And so what we do, and we sort of gamify the whole bonus process. So once they do a certain number of bookings, they get a 10. It's highly achievable. So it's every 6 bookings. So it's the kind of thing that you just, quite often, our active therapists are doing 6 bookings a day. So it's a number that just can keep jumping up. So what we found was like small, frequent wins has been most successful in building up their buy-in.
Awesome. And as a startup, obviously the tools and the tricks that you use kind of further along are different from when you first started. What are some of the tools that you used day one that you think helped you get quicker traction or a better understanding of your business versus tools and things that you're using today?
God, that's a really good question. To be honest, when we started out, we used a huge number of tools. We were so in terms of analytics, like, to analysis ourselves. Obviously, we use Google Analytics, and that's always going to be, something that we need and that we love. But really, it's been now that we've really started to use useful tools. One that we use is a reporting dashboard on all the various metrics, and all of our KPIs, which we can sort of just log into daily. We also have like an board on the wall, Gecko board. I know a lot of startups use this, again, with like key metrics. I always think it's fun to have it up there so we can all like push to achieve our goals. And I'm actually looking into new loyalty programs as well. So Mention Me is something that a lot of people talk about. We built our own quite basic version, but as we build out loyalty on the customer and therapist side, we're looking at platforms like Mention Me as well.
That's great. And the future, where are you guys heading? What's everyone got to look forward to?
I feel like 2019 is going to be our year. We have to build something that is scalable, and really now, over the course of 2018, we achieved a few milestones. That means I really think we're going to get there. So we made 2 acquisitions, one more sizable than the other, but that really kind of pushed us forward in terms of gaining market share and building up supply. And so now that we kind of have the London market, now that we understand the London market, and we have the tools to really scale here, I think that there are great opportunities to replicate the model internationally. So that's on our to-do list 2019. It will be to launch a city. Also, what we found is through building a strong brand, Ruuby is very, very much about being an authority in beauty services and being a tool that women, time of the booking experience. So we'll be looking into that as well. And possibly also bricks and mortar. So we don't believe in having a whole network of salons. Everyone always asks me this. No, we're an on-demand space, but I think building an experiential, amazing beauty concept store could be something quite cool, which also introduces people to the brand and to our ethos. So we're looking to open something up in London in 2019.
Very cool. There was a business, I'm not sure if you saw it, Shoes of Prey. They did custom design shoes they did that approach. So they were purely online in Australia. And then when they launched in the US, they actually rolled out some physical stores in the department stores in Australia and the US, as they're like, instead of doing AdWords, they found they could just pay their rent, do a physical store. People would come in, they get used to the idea, touch it, feel it, and then they'd go home and order more shoes on their own. So maybe there's method to the madness.
For sure. I think so. You know, and then beauty services are very personal. And so we need to show people who we are, and, you know, the people, and educate our customers on the products that we love and the new treatment types, treatment offerings that we're delivering. You know, face-to-face time is important there.
Yeah, definitely. And there's been a lot of consolidation in the market, or in startups in general, whether it's from Rover to Dog Buddy. There has actually been in your space as well, even with some acquisitions from yourself. What do you think the future holds for your industry in the startups?
Interesting time, and people are looking at it very closely because no one really knows. It's complex in that there is a relationship that's built between the freelancer and the client, and so it's not, you know, people always say, oh, it's like the Uber of beauty. I say, well, it's not actually, because it's you're delivering a service within someone's home, and building relationships. You know, with Uber, the drivers are almost sort of commoditized, and you sort of, you know, go. You know, the different businesses are sort of approaching that problem. And really, I think there's great opportunity, and the sort of the, you know, it's very much in its infancy, the on-demand model. You know, people are getting more and more used to getting their beauty services done at home. So I think that the market is going to grow, and I think there'll continue to be consolidation. You know, absolutely. I think there's probably space for also, you know, two or so players in each capital. You know, obviously there's sort of smaller niche kind of boutique-y ones, but really in terms of sort of the, you know, the big game, I think there's about, yeah, space for about two. But you never know, maybe there's going to be ultimate consolidation in 5 years, 10 years, and you're going to have, you know, the Amazon of beauty services. Who knows? But, you know, we're excited and we want to be in it for the ride.
Well, Ruuby takes over the world, but that's awesome.
And for sure.
Mental health in startups isn't really something that's discussed as broadly. How do you ensure that you're on top of your, you know, checking in with yourself, as well as making sure your team are having the headspace that they need?
God, that's a really good question. And you're right. You know, running a startup is incredibly stressful. You know, financial pressure, you know, sort of team pressure, and pressure to deliver, you know, these crazy targets every month and month again. So I think it's really, you know, I think one, it's about kind of accepting, listen, there is going to be, you know, times of sort of extreme stress. And I think by deciding to go on this journey, you know, for me, I love that high risk, high reward roller coaster, calming life I've chosen for myself. Probably not. But for me, I'm just trying, the way that I manage it myself is, you know, by ensuring that I can, because and then if there are failings, like, there's nothing that could have been done, and there are going to be those failings. But, you know, if I've done, you know, I was just thinking, you know, if I've done my best for myself and best for my team, like, that's all I can do. So really kind of just giving myself a bit of a break. And I feel like I'm much more successful in that than I used to be. You know, before it used to be, don't raise the money or whatever it might be, and you're done. It's over. Everything's over. And now, having, you know, almost lost all the money so many times and still being here, it kind of builds a bit of, you know, a little bit of, you know, sort of more of an understanding that it's you know, that things will be okay. On the team side, I think, and it's very simple. I'm a real fan of just taking people out of the office, getting everyone out of the office, having creative times, you know, whether it's going to a yoga class together, you know, and just trying to all remember that we're actually, you know, we just want to have fun too. Like, you know, it's important that we deliver, but, you know, we don't want to do it if it's not going to be fun and educational to some degree.
Yeah,
Like,
you're lucky that you have a consumer
it's
product, right? It's something that you can actually do and experience together. Whereas for us, it's like, oh, we can give you a platform for your marketplace. It's not very exciting.
oh, it is though. It is. Get the numbers in and you see like how much people are using it and learn about the new features. Like, I think it's fun.
You can't all go get your nails done together as like a team bonding experience, right?
Yes, you can.
Well, we can use Ruuby, that's for sure.
Oh.
No, I always get jealous of like girlfriends who run businesses who like Shopo, Jane Lube, she physical clothing brands, right? So she can actually like go and experience that, touch it, feel it, and create those experiences with their team. So it's pretty cool. But what I guess outside of, you know, all things Ruuby, what do you do to, I guess, reading books, podcasts? You know, is there certain things that you go to or have mentors that really assist you with guiding the business?
Yeah, definitely. I love podcasts. I love, as I'm sure probably everyone says, how I built this. I think it's great fun hearing from other fun. I think that there's a real openness and honesty to it that, you know, that is lovely to hear. I think there's all these like success stories, particularly because the sort of startup ethos has to be, you know, we are invincible. We are going to do so much. We're going to achieve that. There's not so much room to be like, oh yeah, well, we might have done the failing and, you know, but then, you know, we improve. So I really like that. Kind of helps me kind of get a bit of balance. And I love going to events and talks, you know, meeting other people, you know, other business leaders, you know, and kind of hearing their stories. So yeah, it's just being around the sort of like-minded people, like-minded bitches who drink wine.
Yeah, heavy on the wine part.
Yes.
Now I ask everyone this: if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
If I could have a what?
A superpower, what would it be?
Oh, that is such a great question. Time travel, because I would love to travel to the future. So excited to see where, you know, where we will be in 100, 200, 500 years time.
Yeah, no, that's a really great one.
Definitely.
And if people can support you, where do they need to go? How do they get the app? How do they go to the website?
Yes, so we're currently operational in London. So if you're in London, you can download our app on the App Store. It's called Ruuby with 2 U's, or make bookings on our website. And then you can also use my code, Love Venetia, for 50.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Well, thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of New York.
Thank you so much, Jen. Really good to talk to you.